All right, today we are going to do an oil change on our 2010 BMW 535i. So the first thing we're going to do is obviously jack up the car, and we're going to make sure that everything is done safely. So we're going to use our jack stands, or we may just use another jack. We have our oil, 0W40 in this case. We have our BMW filter, and we have a special wrench to remove the oil filter itself. So the first thing we're going to do is jack up the car to give us a little room to work with. Yeah, so we're also going to jack up the vehicle from this side just for safety precautions. We're unable to fit a jack stand underneath because the other jack doesn't raise up that much, so we have two jacks raising up the vehicle. Then we're going to get underneath the vehicle and drain the oil, and we'll show you that in a bit. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is open this nut. It's a 17 millimeter right there. So our nut, grab it, and we loosened it, and now we're going to drain the oil. Make sure you got your drain pan here. And there's going to be a washer for that nut that's going to fall. And we're also going to change that washer, which is included in the oil filter that we purchased. The oil was a little hot because we brought the car inside. So you obviously want to do this when the car has cooled down. We're going to remove our oil filter, and in order to do it, we have this special tool, oil filter wrench, which is especially designed for BMW and some other vehicles. And we're going to loose it. There you go. And we've got a rag here. We're also going to open the engine oil so it drains easier. You can see how dirty that filter is, and we're going to replace the filter. And when we replace the filter, we're going to replace two O-rings that come as part of our new filter kit. One is here and one is this one. So we have our new oil filter right here. That's the part number. It's the same as the one that we just took out, and it comes with the big O-ring, the small O-ring, and the nut for our oil pan area. Let's take out the washers first. We'll be back. All right, so we took out the old big O-ring and the old small O-ring, and we're going to put the new one in, lube it up a little. You want to make sure this sits properly in the last groove. And then the same with the new small O-ring. You want to make sure it fits in that groove. I'm going to put in the filter, and you hear that it snaps down. And in this case, we don't have to fill up the oil since it just drains down anyways. And we're just gonna tighten it back. We're gonna use our tool. And again, you're gonna have to look at your vehicle specifications and torque this accordingly. We've done many of these, so we have a general idea of the torque on these. You don't want to over tighten these. That should be good. And now we're gonna fill the oil. All right, so our oil has drained completely, so we're gonna put back this nut, and we use the new washer, and we're gonna tighten it, and we're gonna put it down on the jack from the jacks, and we're just gonna put new oil in. Oil filter back on. We're going to start with just doing a little, and we're just going to wait a few seconds just to make sure nothing is leaking underneath. Just make sure we tighten the nut properly. And the genius is that BMW did not give us a dipstick, so there is a way that you can tell the threshold of the oil by using the computer system inside. So we got about 4.5 gallons in there so far of oil, and we're gonna check to see how much oil we have. So what you have to do is you go to your main menu, you go to vehicle information, and then you go to vehicle status, and the third option is where it measures the engine oil. And this will take, you know, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes you gotta drive a little, but basically over here is where you would look. And then the last thing we're gonna do is, you know, we're gonna reset our engine oil light. Okay, we drove the car around the block a few times and our oil level indicator has finally set. We had initially said we used 4.5 quarts of oil. That was a little short. We ended up needing about 6 quarts, which is what the manufacturer recommended. And now what we're gonna do is reset our oil maintenance light. The last thing we're gonna do is reset our oil reminder light. We're gonna turn the car on, wait for all the lights to pop up. We're gonna hold down on the odometer button. Don't let go, just hold it and you're gonna see that. So you let go, you're gonna see the maintenance reminder light. Hold it again, push, and just say okay. So it's been reset to 13,000 miles. That's the only one we wanna reset. And now we go back to our iDrive system. And we go to our menu and go to vehicle information, go to vehicle status, and we go to service required and engine oil. You can see it says the next oil change is in about 13,000 miles. Even though we use synthetic, we highly recommend you change your oil every 4,000 to 5,000 miles on these BMWs. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. We'd appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. Thank you.